So welcome back, ladies and gents, or gents and ladies, if you prefer, to the upper bracket side of this tournament. Obviously, we saw some surprise results coming in here. Certainly a lot of people are wondering what the hell happened to Against All Authority, and I'm kind of wondering the same. We will have the opportunity now to be watching PyRoGEN up against EXAQUO. So I'm looking forward to this one. I really want to see what PyRoGEN are bringing to this.
Yeah, considering they beat Against All Authority.
That's a big task, you know what I mean? The
Number
team who
14.
just scraped in, obviously, PyRoGEN, not Against All Authority. Being able to do that is huge, absolutely huge, because Against All Authority, they won Cup number 3, and that is no easy feat. You know, beating teams like Epsilon, Fnatic, Dingtas, even by proxy. Obviously, you won't always be in the same side of the bracket, but that's absolutely huge. So really interested to see what they've been doing in that downtime, seeing what they can bring now. And you guys at home, you haven't been tweeting enough is what I'm seeing. I don't think we've had that many predictions.
Me quite often.
Ouch, guys, what's going on right there? But anyway, make sure you get involved on Twitter. As we said before, obviously you can tweet to myself at They Call Me Pansy and at Jay Kaplan with all your predictions. And that's what I want to see here, because we've had so many upsets already that it's not exactly too easy to work out who's going to be working, you know, who's going to be pretty much working their way through this. Because, you know, my initial thoughts were, well, Against All Authority, and then, yeah, we'll see about second. But this time, it's all up in the air. And if you like this already, there's a big thing happening here as well. We're almost ready to get live. But just before we do make sure you head over towards the site just down below and buy some tickets, because that's for the offline finals where we'll be seeing whoever qualifies through this group facing off against all the others. So far, we know Fnatic and Dignitas have secured their spot. We'll be finding out who'll be joining them from Group B and obviously C and D later on. But guys, let's get our attention back to this match, because that's where the actions are going to be going down. And we'll be starting on Storm, so a new map, at least to today's eyes. So we had it a good couple of times, but you know, I'm looking forward to this one. I can't wait to see who's going to be really shining up here, because it's all eyes on PyRoGEN for me now, because if they were able to beat Against All Authority, they must have done something drastic to change this around. I'm
really favoring, though, PyRoGEN. I wasn't really convinced by EXAQUO's wins whatsoever, any of the maps that we saw when they were playing against ESC. I just really wasn't convinced. It just seemed to be really hit or miss sometimes. It was really sketchy, some of them were... Go on, what's I want to say, on Storm, if they get set up in those buildings like they did at B, for example, I think they'll be really hard to beat. But we are live in game, so let's get our eyes set towards that one. It'll be PyRoGEN starting on the US side, and on the Chinese side, it's EXAQUO. And these two teams going for a unique start, actually. PyRoGEN not going for the initial challenge on A, watching the crossing going flat out for that B push, and they've actually picked up the kills for it. PyRoGEN are doing this with some real style. Yeah, they start off very strong here, and I was, you know, the thing is, I'm not convinced by EXAQUO, but they are 1 out of 4 on this map. You know, 1 win, 4 losses, or out of 3 losses, sorry. But then again, on the other side for PyRoGEN, they're 0 for 3. So both teams not very strong on this map, as it seems from past patch matchups. But anything can really happen. We obviously saw Lankang Dam played between EXAQUO and ESC, where neither of them have played in the EMS series, and EXAQUO obviously wants to pretty much pull that one out. But right now, as we do see EXAQUO, they are struggling for flags right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I think your point was right in the essence that, you know, maybe PyRoGEN aren't so strong in this, but they did lose to Against All Authority and Epsilon out of the 3 teams, and obviously ESC being the 3rd. And, you know, they're 2 rather drastically good teams. And we are seeing the normal setup for the more stronghold here. You know, the B site and A in hands of PyRoGEN. They can just be locking this one down, keeping control of those buildings, managing the respawns coming out. Monstro there just really laying down the fire, keeping them at bay. But finally, Pro has broken through towards the building, so he might be able to get a little bit of damage done. The respawns are coming in. So maybe EXAQUO can turn something around here as they're finally gaining a little bit of ground.
Monstro, though, he's doing exactly what his name is, or what it says. 5 and 3 currently. He's been locking down this bottom portion of the area, really forcing EXAQUO to go in through this northern side instead, and that's allowing for, you know, right now PyRoGEN to take these buildings if they whatsoever want to. And Monstro finally get taken down here by Zordon, but immediate backup here. She gets taken down as well. So we're seeing a nice tri-cap come in here, and Pro is in a nice position to really make an entrance on the C here. Looks like they will finally be able to make it in, but still not before a lot of damage is done. They already have a nice 30-ticket lead. Yeah, and I love the play from Hexagon, just pushing in just to be that nuisance, to pick up the point, and then probably going to respawn back in on maybe Monstro or someone a little bit safer, which I think he's just done, leaving Flashor quite aggressive here, actually. He might be going to go and play that kind of flanking role, trying to get around on that C site after they spot out a couple of players now flooding in towards B. He's going to have to make his move pretty damn soon, and he's doing just that, getting in and challenging Miziek, I think it is. Miziek? Instead of Mimzek, which is what I was calling him. Mimi.
And there we go. We are seeing him hold on to that one for now, at least. And still, you know, PyRoGEN are holding the sites they wanted, but they've lost, you know, the kind of control of the buildings, which has allowed the likes of Seo to break through. And now they're going to have to play a bit of a catch-up game here, splitting Malicium and Monstro towards those buildings, almost in a pincer movement, trying to, you know, work out where the opposition are. And they've got Blade and Probo just waiting around the corner. Just the conversion flat out on the C site, quite easily done by Flash and Hexis. And the move in the buildings has worked, and it's forcing a little bit of a troublesome site now for Exacquo. They're blocked out towards that A site. Ika, what is that name?
Ikaho.
What is wrong with players' names these days? You know what I mean?
What's the simple names like Pansy and Joe and...
But I love you?
You forgot a butt.
Oh, there's more? Damn.
It was but. Yeah, there's
okay.
3 in there.
Right.
But anyways, back to the game, I guess. But you were right, though. I think his name is, I think it's pronounced Ikaho, but he's currently 1-on-1 right now. Gonna be 1-2 when he does get the respawn in. But we're seeing push that Exacquo out onto B here. They do have 2 or 3 men here. They're trying to control the buildings, and we're not seeing PyRoGEN really care too much about the buildings, it seems so far. I mean, they obviously lost control of it. They had buildings for a little bit earlier on, but they didn't really bother trying to keep it. They went for a tri-cap instead of locking in those buildings and just holding 2. And right now it's been working out for them pretty well, as they do have a 70-ticket lead currently, or approaching 70 tickets. And they're not going to lose out on B here. We're going to see Exacquo finally get some life back in their team. But I don't know. This is a very one-sided game so far.
Yeah, and we saw how quickly PyRoGEN retook control of those buildings as well when they had that 2-man split around the side. And I'm interested to see if that comes out again. They're actually being held in place this time by Miziek and Probo from quite afar, using those buildings to their main favor. But Monstro being taken down the buildings is looking good for Exacquo, who can actually hold down this now. They can actually get set up in that 2-to-1 hold. We see a very long rotate, however, coming from Hexis, taking the long road, trying to avoid the rain off that storm that is coming in, and might be able to get his hands on the A site unless, you know, they maybe break through earlier on by B.
Yeah, we're going to see if he's going to be able to... I mean, that's obviously a long run if you look where he's going. I mean, we're taking a look at the overview map. He is going full out around the map to get there. I mean, there's a lot of time to invest, but they realize they have such a big lead, they can probably pull this off. And if it works, they do get the respawns on top, which they're currently doing, then they might be able to rain down the fire onto A. Well, you do see a 1-for-1 trade there, but obviously get the revive in, and they might be able to push in for this one. But 40-ticket lead. They have dropped about 30 currently. They're making their way in here, and Hexis is in a very good position, though the rest of his team, unfortunately, isn't.
Yeah, indeed.
And they did lose a player. Gonna point that out.
We aren't getting Exacquo actually going for a push onto the C site as well. So they're not taking this lightly. They're going to make this one hurt by going for that tri-cap to really bring this one back all even. They saw the deficit they were dealing with, and PyRoGEN obviously not having that 5th player in place, and they're going to make it really hurt for them now. Monstro is doing what he can, trying to push through onto the A site. He's given the advantage over to PyRoGEN, but now immediately the likes of Probo bringing his attention back over. They split towards C as well. This could be a 2-to-1 hold in favor to PyRoGEN this time, but as you said, they finally got their 5th player back of Malicium, so they should be able to start retaking this one through, and they're doing just that. C is the first site, but they need to get A. Monstro, I think, will be the last standing member of PyRoGEN who will be getting that one. So now just be in the hands of Jesus Christ, Exacquo. My brain is slowing down, but they now need to find another way to do this, because they're not going to be winning these flat-out exchanges, because they always have the 3 against 2.
And they can't bank on the whole... Maybe Malicium will disconnect again and we'll be able to get a tri-cap on you kind of thing. But right now, I mean, it's just PyRoGEN. It's just all about them. They've been able to just pretty much steam over Exacquo here. And I want to give them a lot of credit. I mean, we didn't really have a lot of hopes for them as... Or not hopes, but we didn't really expect them to, you know, pretty much beat against Authority 2-0 and then to come into this game such a one-sided factor currently. And they're doing a fantastic job. They're getting the flanks off, as you've seen Ikaho right there coming from the backside. And they have a nice 40-ticket lead yet again.
Yeah, but Probo's doing something very similar to what we saw last time coming through. He's gone on the long flank, maybe not as long, and they do need to get this. It'll be kind of splitting the attention of the opponents. Pyro now know that C is trouble, as is A, but they are going to get the more favored side of B. But look at the resistance. Zordon, Miziak, and Blade all ready to go onto that B site, and seeing where they're getting. This is a 2-to-1, and this could be a 3-cap or the tri-cap coming in for Exacquo. If they can get this B site, they're in a great position for it. They might lose out on A, but a CB hold will be absolutely perfect if they can force the spawns of the opponents now.
Yeah, and Pro, I mean, he's not giving up on A just yet. He's looking for the fights. Actually, we're able to pick up one. He's going to get a second here on a Monstro. Will he be able to pick up a third here? Will he be able to get the flag back over themselves as he start to cap it over? And right now, PyRoGEN are getting no points or no tickets. I mean, they're losing, or they're pretty much just losing everything. And the only points they actually get back in their favor are any kills they pick up on Exacquo, and that's only been 1 so far. But A is still being contested right here. And PyRoGEN have to commit so many people to really lock this down. They have 3 spawning even towards that side. They finally, actually, they don't have the kill they need to really lock this one down just yet, and they still haven't been able to control A again.
Yeah, and the player I want to highlight right now is ICY, who's down by C. He's playing quite a backward role, and I'm curious to see if they go maybe try and push as much as they can towards B. Any respawns will come in towards him, and they can make that C push. And right now, it's actually working. They are picking the kills up by B, so he might need to now make his move soon. Miziak is going to be challenging him out. They've spotted him down, so it's not going to be a simple one to deal with, but already Flash and Hexis trying to clap over on that B site, and they're actually going to be able to do this one. Monster as well in support. Beautiful play coming out. Now just Zordon pretty much to do some damage around the back of that B area. Maybe get some respawns towards him, because this is not a clean-cut game. You know, we saw early on that PyRoGEN looked really comfortable, but now they're being pushed a little bit.
They definitely are. To me, it feels like they're trying to recover from the disconnect that they had. They're constantly fighting to get back the control that they had prior, earlier on in this half, obviously. And right now, they're still being pushed out. ESC has been doing a fantastic job of just taking that little bit of disconnect that happened, and they're trying to work it back in their favor. And once they got control, they're not trying to relinquish it whatsoever. They do have the 2-cap finally back for themselves here, and they're forcing PyRoGEN to be the one to make the play. And it's really hard to do that on this map when you don't control these buildings.
Yeah, most certainly. We are seeing Hex's control now with ICY, and we're seeing Flasher on the side picking up the kill onto Zordon and allowing a bit of a counter push coming from Pyro towards C, because they want to make this one start hurting. They want to retain as many tickets as possible. They're going to go for the 2-cap, but now we are going to be seeing, oh wow, another issue coming. ESC have lost their player.
Yeah. It wasn't Blade this time though. Funny enough. So let's see how that affects them. Let's see if PyRoGEN can maybe take advantage of that. We do have interesting spawns coming in for ESC. Probo over towards A, going to be pushed in towards the backside as we have 3 men of ESC watching from C and even pushing in towards B. They realize that we need to make something happen here. Even if we're not going to cap flags over, we got to get some kills. We got to get some tickets back if we want to go into the second half with a chance to pretty much take this map. And right now, PyRoGEN, they're only having 1 flag, and considering it's a 5-on-4, this is not looking too good.
Yeah, most certainly. Melicium definitely had to kind of recounter things there by heading over towards C on his own. We saw 2 players splitting out towards that A side as well, ICY and Monstro, so didn't win that A battle at all. We are seeing very risky respawns coming in for Pyro. They're right in the middle of the map, and they're feeling the brunt of it now. A couple of players falling by the wayside. They're going to have to go for the challenge with the vertical disadvantage. The B side being capped over by ESC as well. This is not looking good for a team that looked so strong early on. They are not making the advantage of having 5 players against 4 really stick here. They're in the better place, but they do not have the flags.
Well, they are going for a 2-man push finally onto A here. It looks like they finally won those 1v1s or 1v1.5s or whatever you want to call it. And right now, they're trying to get that tri-cap going on. ICY does get taken out of B, though, but either way, that will be a 2-cap back for PyRoGEN, and they're not going to have the lead that they really kind of hoped for coming into the second half if they are able to keep pace like this. And ESC, I mean, they had problems with disconnects earlier on in their match versus ESC. Ooh, wow, nice shot from Hex right there. Gets a headshot of Zordon and stays alive. But they're working around it very well, and I have to give them credit because they were down over 70 tickets, and they've been able to close it down to about 30.
Yeah, they're really turning things around here. Big play coming in from Melicium, them holding back 2 players who are making their way forward. With the help of Monstro, they will be getting the 2-to-1 hold here for at least now, as the 2 players left for ESC did try and pick up A. They tried to minimize the damage, but it's a matter of time before those tickets bleed away from them. Zordon laying down the fire, but still, 36 tickets at its current standing is not unacceptable at all. Considering how bad the start went for ESC, that's fairly acceptable.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I kind of curious. I think this next half we're going to see is going to be very similar to what we saw with ESC versus ESC, where one team is just going to bolt out in this half and just completely control it from the beginning. Now you're seeing even on PyRoGEN's side, they did lose a man yet again here, just as ESC got Mimi back on their side. So I'm not sure exactly what's going down, but it's really unfortunate for both these teams considering what's on the line right now.
Yeah, it's not easy. These guys really do need to make sure it's actually all working here, because this is securing a spot in the offline finals. This is huge for these guys, you know.
Winner this game, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, PyRoGEN, no one expected to see them here this early. You know, they may have made their way up to the lower bracket, but you know, to be able to get into the upper bracket from this is absolutely massive for those guys. But you know, when they lose out players and they're just scraping away with 36 tickets in their favor, it's not huge. I don't know. It must be really tough going into this now after having such a strong lead at the start. I'm kind of curious to see how that second half goes, because both teams lost out on players at really awkward moments, to be fair. So hopefully they can pull themselves back together here and actually get ready to go on this one.
Well, you know what it does mean for us, though?
What?
It means we're not going to be able to go live right when we get back into the map, but that means we get to fill a little bit more and talk about many different things.
Wait, no, don't come back to camera, though. No,
oh,
producer.
No, we don't need to go back to camera for this.
Do that,
no,
right?
we don't need to. You don't need to see our faces.
No one needs to see our
You don't need to
faces.
see what we're doing right now.
Storm's a beautiful map. We can talk about sharks. How about
we can
that?
talk about megalodons.
Damn. How
does your computer load quicker than mine? I don't understand.
Because
the exact same PC.
I'm literally running on Ultra as well, which looks beautiful. But no. Did you take part in the hunting round for the fishies?
No, I did not.
You didn't?
No.
I spent
I had better things to do.
long. No, you didn't.
Sleep.
I enjoyed looking around for it all.
We're gonna do what you're doing.
We'll just go underneath the water. Under the sea. Do, 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 do. I love that film. My God. But yeah, we are waiting on the film.
I mean, 101 Dalmatians was like the best movie ever.
What?
101 Dalmatians.
That's exactly where that song was from. But no, it was good fun, kind of just chilling around on these maps, looking for silly fish.
Which ship was it? It was one of these ships back here, wasn't it?
It's the one that's against the...
Right there?
Yes. If you blow that thing up, the ship will come and beach itself on the land. And it's all pretty cool. But it was the message on top of this tower that everyone got obsessed with. I don't know if we can actually go and see it. I guess we can.
Where?
On the radio tower. Hold
no,
on,
I was
They've
there.
actually got 5? We're having such a great time. But no, there was like a little message.
Damn them for getting back on the server so we could play this out.
But no, there was like a little message, like an arrow pointing that way, like 23 something on it. Like it was just a random set of numbers or whatever. And it was like, it's a clue. So everyone kind of went over towards it. Oh, we do have 5 back in. That's quite upsetting. I mean, that's fantastic. I want
for
a message. Yeah, indeed. Until one drops and we can fly over to it quickly. But if everyone knows what I'm talking about, I'm sure.
I'm waiting for you to pull it up right now.
I'm trying to find it. It's like up top here somewhere. I swear to God. It was like in the... Okay, right. In there, you can't see it with the lighting apparently, but there was a little door on the thing that you could see. And it had a little
don't worry, they don't know what you're talking about. Because they can't see it.
Everyone went hunting for it. Guys in chat, do you know what I'm talking about? The satellite dish thing with the numbers on it pointing northeast to the map. I think they do. But anyway, we are ready, I believe. I'm going to wait till it starts because I trust nothing anymore. Nope. There we go. So back to my point.
Back to the tower.
See now, I don't know if we can see it. Like I don't know why we can't see it. I think it's just because the lighting's a bit poo.
No, it's not this one. Ah.
God damn it. No, you cannot vote for different casters anywhere, sadly. You are stuck with us. Sorry, guys.
I'm really close to your face
right now.
Yeah,
I really was uncomfortable then.
So was I, actually. I was trying to see chat.
No, you don't get to see chat. We are still waiting on these players. So
I think this one's going to be live, though.
Yeah?
I think it is, because we do have the correct sides.
Okay. That's good.
No, we don't. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Nope.
Yeah, we do.
Yep. Good.
I feel like you could do this for hours, what you're doing right now. I mean, you guys can't see on your screen. Maybe we can switch to it really quickly, but I feel like you could do it for hours.
No, I'm having a great time. I just like looking around the map. It's a pretty game, to be fair. Battlefield is not a bad-looking game, and normally I run it in, like, 640 by 480, and it doesn't look so pretty, but this is, like, decent res and high graphics, and I was like, everything's shiny. Nope. All right. That's cool too.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that.
So, for LDLC, or aka PyRoGEN, why they have 2 tags, I'm not too sure. They'll be starting in the south there, looking up straight towards B, sending 1 man around the back. That'll be Hexus, possibly to challenge out late in the game towards that A site. And obviously, Exacquo will be starting in the north of this one, picking up pretty much for free that C site and A for now. And B just about going PyRoGEN's way.
Hexus, what are you up to? You're a crazy, crazy man. He does go around completely the backside. He's actually checking down in these trenches. He's going to get the full back cap onto A here, and that means the rest of PyRoGEN are able to get the cap onto B as well. So this actually might work out very well for them if he can cap it over. He does see 1 man inside the building, does get the kill on Mimi, and that does open up this push onto A. However, he doesn't know that just yet. But he did get the respawns, and that will allow them to really push in here.
Yeah, and they could be getting a trip cap right now just for maybe a millisecond. And I think they're going to lose out on B first of all. But Flash are in a great position to wait for those respawns to come in. I can imagine he might play a little bit safer than he is because they're clearly going to lose out on some of these sites. B being the main one. They're holding that 2-1 at the moment on C and A, leaving the likes of Ikaho to play that more defensive role. But Probo getting immediately up in the face. But you can see those buildings being decimated around them. And at the moment, we are seeing a couple of players actually holding on to these positions. Interesting gun choices as well. You know, the Scar H still certainly in play, and C is the next vulnerable site here, as only Melicium is able to defend it.
But Hexus, he's already there over at B here, and he's looking for the tri-cap to come in. He's going to be able to pull this one off as well as he gets the respawns in. They're going to lose C in the meantime from it, but still, they're not going to care too much. They're reading ahead of ICY currently, and that's definitely giving them a little bit of lead here as we see them coming into this. And remember, if they can get ICY down below 36 tickets. They will have won the first map in this best of 3 and take it over to Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, and it looks like exactly want to take away the buildings from PyRoGEN, and that's not a bad shout considering how they were playing it last time. ESC running with that engineer class with the AK-5C, actually interesting choice, not what we normally see with the ergo grip and muzzle brake as selection there. But you know, he's trying to remove that easy setup that they had on B before. And, well, they're not finding the kind of easy route in, but still, they're certainly trying to find a way through here. As ESC are only left with that C side, this 2-to-1 hold is going to start hurting pretty soon, as, you know, 36 tickets is the big number that they'll be thinking about.
And right now, we're seeing ICY, I don't know why you're staring at me like that, going to be pushed into B here. And they're looking to be able to take this one back. They're going to lock this one down. And they're going to get the control on a C and B here yet again. Will they be able to pull up the tri-cap for just a second? It looks like Blade going to be the man to be able to pull that off. So they're going to get a nice big chunk of points here for tickets. But we already see PyRoGEN respond right away. They're pushing to C here. There's only 2 men to defend against B with 1 man inside this building for Probo. And I really wonder if they're going to be able to hold on to B off of this. And it looks like they're going to be able to for at least a little bit longer.
Yeah, we are seeing Monstro pushing straight across, looking like he wants to challenge through those buildings that were destroyed a little bit earlier on. He does have the drop on 1, so he'll be picking up that kill onto Probo, and now it's looking a little bit more vulnerable here. But still, the likes of Blade not too far away, making sure his presence is remembered, and B still staying in the hands for now of ESC. And there hasn't been enough of a concerted push here. You know, these players have been going in drips and drabs. Finally, the respawns in the building will come in, but immediately taken down by ESC. So brilliant play so far. Zordon doing a nice little crossfire with the 2 towards the northeast side between C and A. Flash and Eco had to put their own resources towards that one, and now A is looking vulnerable.
And Hexus, he's doing a little bit of an interesting play against it and really far out to the side. He's actually giving PyRoGEN a spawn into these trenches if they want to go for it here. They're going to get the cap on an A off of this, and they still have C currently, but there's no man there to defend against it. But look at the distraction they're pulling off. They're pulling everyone on ESC over towards B, over towards A at the same time, and they're completely just flanking them in, holding them onto this, or holding them into this area, and it's really working out for them. They are catching up in tickets, so they're obviously not down that much here, but they've been able to take the control back out of ESC, and that's the big point. Yeah,
but Miziek was a really key player there, allowing Sayo to respawn on him. But them going down means real trouble because B is being ripped away from them. We are seeing the likes of Probo up in the building, so we might be able to get some exit fire on these teams trying to set up towards the west side of the buildings. But Monstro going straight out for the challenge, and that B side should be swinging back over. We are seeing a lovely bit of play from Zordon there, pretty much cleaning house on anyone trying to split towards A. So ESC are holding this 2-to-1. They've evened the tickets. Let's bear in mind they do have a slight deficit of 36. But still, this is a lovely bit of play, and they're actually really making it hard work for PyRoGEN to get set up in the buildings because they destroyed so much of the cover there.
Yeah, it's very true, and you're also seeing them take their strategy away from them with, like you're saying, the buildings being taken down. But PyRoGEN, I like how they've been reacting to it so far. They still have the cap on a B, they still have the control on a C, and I like how they've been pulling ESC away. I mean, that's something we noticed earlier on Dawnbreaker, more importantly, is that they commit so many resources into a certain spot. They overcommit, and from that, the other team is able to pretty much cap against them and completely catch them off guard, and it seems to be happening yet again here, as we see a lot of men already commit towards this B and A side. Obviously, PyRoGEN just going to be able to get the respawns in and really force something. But there's a line drawn across this map, and ESC doesn't want to let anyone past it.
And I don't blame them. They're in a great spot. Flash is going on the rotate, however, so he could be able to come around and really cause some trouble. Zordon seems to have caught onto it early, picking up a nice double there. That is going to deny any access for the opponent's side. Zordon now can get back to doing what he does best, just creating that line, as you said, across the map, almost diagonally through B. And it's just making it really hard work for Pyro to break in. Already down by a good chunk of tickets, they're going to start feeling the pinch soon. As much as they may have had the advantage, unless they get a 2-to-1 hold at any point here, they're not in a good spot. And I like the adaptation of ESC, leaving Blade out towards the northeast of this map between that AC hold, just putting fire into those buildings, stopping anyone pushing his teammates within that setup. Really nice stuff. It seems they've worked this one out now.
He's really been sitting there for a majority of this game, too. I've seen him a little bit earlier on in this half, and it's been working out perfectly for him. It's forcing PyRoGEN to find another way into these areas, and they've been locked on a C for quite a while, already down about 30 tickets right now. And it's getting to that point where if they don't make a move soon, if they don't start to group up and really take it back, then they might lose on this first map after having that 36 ticket lead.
This is just lovely to watch. Zordon now knows the plan that PyRoGEN were going to try and implement by working through those trenches, constantly being a pest, even Miziek joining in every now and then. And that play from Blade, who's finally switching up, was absolutely stunning. I can imagine to get back out there on top of that little ledge on the boxes and just create this ideal crossfire. We're seeing a big commitment of forces from PyRoGEN, now trying to half at least put pressure on the likes of Blade, who've been laying down the fire, picking up kill after kill. Just look at the spot he's in, if we can, because it's perfect vision. Finding that building does get absolutely destroyed, so being forced to move, and we might see the switch around, but at the moment, 32 tickets just remaining for PyRoGEN. They're not in the best of spots here, and they're certainly going to be disheartened now.
And they're really in a terrible spot. But with that building going down, I wonder, is that going to work against ICY for Blade in his positioning? Because he won't be able to see, people go into that building side. He's going to play on top of it, which is obviously not as much cover as he'd really hope for. But he's picking up kills. We see a move onto A here out of PyRoGEN. And I wonder, are they going to be... Oh, well, that's where I was looking earlier, looking at the radar tower. But I wonder if they're going to take A back here. And right now, they were completely shut down. 3 men going down currently. And that forced them to go somewhere else. And I honestly don't see PyRoGEN coming back from this. They can't get the respawns in at the same time. They're even going for 3 people with engineer classes for some reason. And they're having to
destroy the rest of the buildings, maybe.
It's too late, I feel like that.
Yep. And I just want to point something out here. We'll see it at the half, but Probo and Blade, the 2 players who are in the northeast side of the map, it was Probo within the buildings, Blade outside. They're sitting on 15-4 and 12-6. Those 2 absolutely loved it. Zordon was the one holding the flank at the bottom there, did just as well, 13-4. And it's very similar to Dawnbreaker to me now. Once they get set up here, they are a force to be reckoned with. I don't think we can count Exacquo out of this one because they've just picked this up. They've beaten the team who just beat Against All Authority on the first map. So already... this is so hard to predict, this whole group. Like, it's unbelievably hard to predict anything that'll be coming out of this. And guys, get me your predictions. Make sure you talk to us. I'm going to take you through the stats here because you didn't see it at the end. Probo 13-6, Blade 15-4, Zordon 13-4, and the rest played the more roaming roles, making sure they were keeping maybe that A site in hand and just kind of being a pest. Seeing a little bit lower, like 8-7. PyRoGEN having the great start. The only player who got relatively decent was Monstro, 10-17 off that brilliant start we witnessed on the B site. The rest, 9-10, 4-12, 4-14, 3-14.
This is what we saw of XQuake. Wow. You saw in Dawnbreaker when they actually lost that man, and I think it was the first or second half. The thing is, they were pulling off the one-on-ones, but because they were a man down, they couldn't pull off like the 1 versus 1.5s or 1 versus 2s. And right there, I mean, they just single-handedly beat them in kills. And from that, they gained the map control finally after the initial stage of it. And PyRoGEN couldn't really do anything to get it back. And the worrying factor is now, Dawnbreaker is the next map. It is the next map. And we saw how good these guys were on that. I think this means real trouble for PyRoGEN. A team who were able to overcome Against All Authority, such a dominating factor within the Cups riding up to this moment. This is a huge, huge start. I'm thinking, I'm a little bit concerned about Against All Authority. Because, I mean, PyRoGEN, they played well that game, but to me, in my head, not as well as a team that beat Against All Authority 2-0 should be playing on that map. So that makes me wonder, is Against Authority, maybe, are they on tilt today? Are they not playing or performing as well as they normally do? Or was PyRoGEN just playing exceptionally well earlier on? I mean, I think you might agree with me on that. It sounds a little bit harsh to PyRoGEN, but it does kind of make sense, at least in my head. Maybe. I think Wahlberg, if I'm not mistaken, was in Twitch chat, and he said, it was the servers, the players were not on point. Maybe that was what held them up a little bit and maybe caused them a little bit of an issue. Enough to cost a game is pretty damn massive, though. But still, I'm not too sure. This is... I don't know. This is really, really hard to kind of understand. In my eyes, I don't think we can take anything away from Exacquo. They really played that very well towards the end. And that setup was perfect. They know the spawns. They know how to force the spawns, and they pretty much did that. They left the opponents in that northwest side of the map between C and B, almost further out a little bit. And they couldn't break through it because every time we went, okay, let's try and push around into the buildings like we know generally works, Blade was there, and Blade just picked up the kill. If he didn't, he'd tag him up enough that Probo would be able to pick them up as soon as they pushed in, and that just gives you complete control. Yeah, it's just perfect stuff, and it just worked so well. And even Flash, knowing what their backup plan would have been, working down the south side of the map through the trenches, he was already prepared for it, just picking up kill after kill, picking up a nice little double there as well. So some really interesting stuff coming out very early on. It's just brilliant to watch. I don't think anyone can really say anything other than that at the moment. It's so good to see so many teams able to be able to create these scores and be able to create these games. Because, you look to the first group, okay, maybe it's a little bit of a given that Fnatic and Dignitas were going to go through, but I don't think we'd have expected both of these two teams within the upper bracket at this point. So
I don't know. This is a surprising result to my eyes, at least. I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, I mean, I think against Authority, losing 2-0 was the biggest surprise so far to me. But the other three teams, I thought they'd be so close. And so far, it's kind of been proving to be that, where even now, with against Authority losing, we can't tell you which team is going to be the first team to. Well, we can tell you pretty much one of the two, but we can't tell you which two teams will really be going through, or a guarantee of which team. And
in what order as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that, because Group B was like the biggest. I don't know, it was anyone's chance group in my head.
Yeah, there was always room for upsets, but I didn't think we'd see it to this extent. I thought the upset would come in for confirming that second spot in here. And I thought Against All Authority would kind of go quite comfortably through the upper side.
Right.
But to already see that up for grabs, the first kind of secured spot rather than dropping down to fight in the lowers, it's pretty impressive.
Now I'm curious about what's happening between ESC and Against All Authority in the bottom half. Because realizing that one of those teams won't have a chance after that game is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of worrying to me, because I honestly expected Against Authority and ESC to pull through.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, ESC had some really strong performances. When I watched PyRoGEN, I wasn't overly impressed.
Yeah.
They weren't a bad side at all, but they've clearly worked out any issues. And they've been training hard. I know there's a couple of comments about two teams really putting the practice in, and clearly they are one of them. So, Dawnbreaker, watching on that, if they get set up again in that ideal position they're very good at, using Blade as he was before, this could really spell trouble for PyRoGEN.
That's one thing, though, that we noticed on Dawnbreaker is the balcony side, the northern side of the map. They would constantly spawn like 3 or 4 people in there when they were kind of tapped for an idea of what to do. And I wonder if PyRoGEN, if they get that opportunity, are they going to make it so they can pretty much just take away the game by a huge ticket lead? Or will ICY, who slow to react sometimes, are they going to be able to react quick enough and change things up fast enough to really kind of pull that one back? Because they can't really afford PyRoGEN to get in a position to get comfortable, because that's when things can get very dangerous.
It's a very good question. I think we are just getting the map change underway, and I think it's just been done. So hopefully we can jump in on this and see what's going on. They aren't live just yet, but rather than staring at us, you can stare at the game, which is always a bonus. But yeah, as we were saying, this was a really unique start, or at least a unique style, I feel, from ICY, the way they played this. Maybe a little bit similar to UMAV, maybe. I think it's a bit of a strong call. I think UMAV are probably one of the better teams on this one on occasion. But they certainly adapted some of the styles of it, especially the way that the Blade was playing up that road in between BC and A, just on the north side of the map.
Yeah, up here he was just deadly.
Dominant
just
force.
Constantly deadly. It was hard to take down, and I wonder if he could be able to pull the one off again. Actually, I love looking at these things. They always kill the guy, though, that's controlling him. It makes me sad. Sad Jason is not a fun Jason.
Aw, poor little Jason.
I did have a nice burrito for lunch, though, so I'm quite happy about that.
Back to food.
That was so
Thank
good.
God there's no red sauce on it, otherwise it would
There actually was red sauce, but it was like spicy
damn.
sauce. Oof. And that Chipotle mayonnaise on it. Ooh. Who would have ever thought putting mayonnaise in a burrito? It sounds pretty gross, but it was like, damn. Give like a creaminess to the burrito. But anyways, that's furthest from the point of Battlefield 4 that we could probably make right now. And
there's a lot of points you can make about it, but just try not. But no, I'm kind of interested in what we see from the start. I think ICY were one of the teams that did do the boost, but I'm not sure if PyRoGEN are going to do it, obviously out of the spawn for the southern team. I'm interested if they actually run with it. I'm curious to see the gun choice as well. Obviously, Scar H has been in play. We've seen it already today a couple of times. I'm just kind of interested who's going to run with it better out of these two.
I feel like we've been seeing a lot more Scar H's over the past couple of cups. Like we saw it like here or there at the beginning. I can't think of the man. I think it was Unfixed on Fnatic that played it. Was the first one I saw play it.
Safe, I think, was on S8F as well. If you do remember him, he also played it a hell of a lot on this map, especially using it on the catwalk section to shoot across, and he played it very well. I think that's the one I really remember doing extremely well with it.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot more. It's been nice to see the guns finally change. We saw a lot of interesting guns used that we normally wouldn't ever see, just depending on the situation, which is really nice. I don't understand how you load in quicker than me. Maybe we should be using your computer to spectate.
No, alles gut. We do see the boost, actually. You okay there, Jason?
No, I just thought of something I want to say in German, but I probably shouldn't.
Nope. Nope. Never.
I think our producer just said, do it.
Unless it's Schmetterling, I'm not listening. It's the best word ever.
Does that mean butterfly or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
So German is
it's
so
the most
aggressive.
disgusting word for butterfly.
Yeah. But obviously, I do want to point out, obviously, the boost coming out from the Chinese side, which will be ICY. So, boosting up one player on the other, getting the respawns on the guy who gets the immediate charge, and they'll be straight away able to challenge on the B site. So nice little start from them, and it kind of evens the playing field a bit for these guys, and it does give them a solid chance to pick up A and B, splitting only one-man Probo back towards A, because they know they can at least hold them up for a little bit of time. And at the moment, Ikaho, though, gets in a fantastic spot with Flash and Melicium from the back to just really pinch them down.
They shut that 4-man squad down that was going towards B instantly with just the position, like you said. Flasher as well coming for the backside, just completely opened up a crossfire that they couldn't deal with. Right now we're getting spawns on the backside, and Hexus deals with them very quickly with that Scar. He picks up those 2 kills, stops that spawn from coming in, and that forces XQuail to spawn back over here. It doesn't let them get that C cap that they were looking for. Actually, no. They're getting spawned back here towards the southwest side, or the pretty much just the east or the west side of the map. Not even south. Directions. New thing, like math words are hard.
Yeah, but point there is that Flash has got a nice little double, makes it a triple. And, well, PyRoGEN looking like they're out for blood this time. B should be safe within their hands. They could be getting a tri-cap on this if they want to. Zordon's gone down, and actually the respawns do favor that, but a nice little split up that side from Blade and Sayo. They're looking towards A, looking to do some damage. We are seeing Exactro holding on by C, so they could be getting a 2-to-1 hold here. And actually, the player, who was it who went so aggressive then? I think it may have been Flash. Could have just cost them a respawn. So now Ikaho has to come back with Monstro and actually find the challenge here.
And you're still seeing Hex is sit back towards C here. He's looking for the last 2 men that are standing there to defend against it. They do end up getting the kills onto him, but they didn't get the cap over, which is, I guess, the most important part. They're finally going to get it now. They're finally going to get a 2-cap here. And we're seeing PyRoGEN kind of not have an answer just yet. I mean, we see Flasher pushed up really far, waiting for some respawns. Let's pick up 1 kill, looking for that second. If he can get this one, that might even open up the spawns coming in. They, in fact, do get him. He does get the kill with the grenade. And that does open up A to be taken here in just a second. So they're going to get that 2-cap back. And as soon as that happens, we're seeing Blade actually start capping over B.
Yeah, we certainly are. So Monstro looking towards C, however, going for a little bit of a solo.
This is a tri-cap?
This could be a tri-cap going out for at least a couple of seconds, and they've got it. They've got the tri-cap here. This is the worrying side. We've got Iko re-stepping up as well as Flash. Bear in mind, Iko did not have the best of games in the last map, so maybe he was waiting for his time to shine, and this is certainly it. So C being the last bastion now for Exacrio, being able to turn that one over, Sayo picking that one up, and Miziek going down, and we are going to see B now finally being contended by Blade, and Exacrio never really getting that ideal setup they wanted. They missed out on that B setup at the very start. They're being mowed down, all 4 of them, and we're seeing PyRoGEN pretty much doing what they did to others. Flash and Hex is just laying down the fire, making sure they're making it hurt, but Exacrio may have a response to this. It's just finding out what it is.
And that's one thing that kind of worries about their team, is that they're always so slow to adapt, and they need to be able to realize what the faults are of their strategy and fix it quickly. And right now, they're trying to make it happen. We do have A and C capped over for PyRoGEN, which is interesting. 2 flags to hold, but they don't have control of this balcony side, so they're just kidding with the 2 easiest ones. And we do have 1 man fall down, Monster over onto C, so this has to mean that PyRoGEN's going to go for his cap on a B.
Yeah, they certainly are. I think there's Iko there, joined by Hexus. They are being taken down from that catwalk. Sayo, they're now breaking across, looking like they want to kind of claim the street as well. They've been kind of taken down from every single angle, and they've forced, the PyRoGEN side to use the east side of the road there. They are being taken down, so this is a good start. And look at the position from Sayo. Perfect play. Splitting up there, picking up the kill on the flash shot, and now looking around to convert that A site. This is much better play from these guys. If they can make sure they're set up enough on B to be able to retain the A-B hold, they'll be in a better spot here, and they might be able to work back some of those tickets.
And it looks like they might be able to hold on to B quite easily, because no one's even trying to go to contest C out. It's all about A, it's all about C currently, and XQuail able to get control of A. They're losing control of B finally here to Melicium, but you can see they're going to be able to lock down C a little bit here. We still have Zordon actually playing a little interesting role. This is where Hex was staying a little bit earlier on, playing really far back C, waiting for the initial respawns to come in after that 4-man wipe over at B earlier on. And right now, it's looking very good for XQuail, I have to say. I mean, obviously they're not winning in tickets, but they're not that far behind, and they're starting to really kind of build some momentum here, it feels like.
Yeah, let's see how it goes down on A, however, because Blade is now in a really bad situation. He's on 1-on-3 pretty much here, and that's, it doesn't spell well for him. So he has been taken down by Monstro there, but they do have the numbers to really secure this A site. But whether or not they actually go for it is a, or at least kind of, work away from it is a very different thing. Because look at exactly just holding that line across the map. They're playing a BC game, and now they're sending up Blade to that ideal position. I think that we might see Monster already trying to challenge that one out. They're not going to allow that to be such an easy factor. I'm kind of curious to see if Blade can do this again. Just being that pest, he's already forced Monster away from this, and he can come around on the side, as we know he likes doing, hopping up and over, laying down the fire, picking up one onto Flash. He does get taken down by a more passive Monstro there, and that was just good play going out from those guys.
Yeah, and Blade, I mean, that could have been a huge play if he was able to pick up 2 or 3 more kills off of that. Monstro, like you said before, playing very passive, was able to finally pick that one up and able to turn that around and stop that from happening and from progressing any further than it already was. And he's even working towards his balcony side, trying to contest it here, trying to lock this one down, give the advantage back to his team. And he's going to be able to use that box to his advantage to block away that nade. You can see him, he's stalling a couple of people here. You're seeing the respawns come in from ICY on top of Blade to really lock down that side because they want to be able to control it. And this is what kind of worked out not good for them, or worked out well for ESC, is that they committed so many resources towards this balcony side that eventually they would lose it everywhere else, because right now they only have 3 men to defend against a push on a C and 3 men to defend or even push into B here to take it.
Yeah, but let's just keep in mind the tickets is 72 to 99. This is the first half, so the smaller the gap, the better. But, either side can certainly turn this one around. Good play from Flash, though, pushing in towards B. Really trying to keep this one in mind. Make sure they can work on it, because we are seeing a bit of a swarm from exactly Seo and Miziak in a perfect position to pick up that A site and then clean down towards B. Flash is pretty much the last standing bastion of PyRoGEN at this point. We are seeing Zordon being kept busy by Monstro, so there's no support coming from the balcony, and exactly need to be able to do this by brute force. They're finally breaking through, taking down Flash. ICY will follow suit, but that victory on the balcony really will come in strong. We're seeing Hexus, I believe, splitting across here to try and make this go their way, and it's not happened at all. And exactly now in the ideal setup. Let's see if they can start playing that dominating game that they did before.
Yeah, and they do have that line that they want to hold. It's obviously not the direction that they had happened last time, but they can pick up these kills in the hands of Blade, who's been the real man to watch earlier on against ESC on this map. I don't know if he can pick up quite a few kills here, because if he can, it's going to give them the lead that they were looking for to finally have for the first time in this map, but he does get taken out very quickly. Unfortunately, that was probably the worst time to watch him play right there, as he's now only 6 and 8. And Seo, though, is watching towards B, watching for anyone to push out of this A building. And we even have ICY being chased out for the backside. They do get the respawns onto them, and they do stop that push onto A from happening, but they are going to lose out on B for this.
Well, they look like they're going to try and hedge their bets here, leaving Probo to split over towards C with Zordon on cover. They might be kind of undone by Hexus and the new respawns of ICY coming in, but still, they could maintain on B here as well, because Seo, Blade, and I believe it's Miziak have won the exchange, so they could be doing perfectly fine for themselves, basically getting set up again, as long as they don't get caught out by this long road split down the east side of the map here by Monstro and Melisium, trying to find that A site.
I wonder if they're able to push into this one pretty easily, and there's no one to be there to contest it, but obviously we have 2 men here to push in right away to stop it from happening. We do have, thanks to Korea, do have control of balcony, yet again we have an interesting spot out of Hexus towards the very back side of C, as there's even some battling going on here over towards the C building. But ICY, I wonder, he's kind of behind enemy lines. Like, he's able to sneak around a couple of them, and he actually catches Probo off guard right there. And with C being kept over, with A being kept over, it looks like we're going to have a 2-to-1 cap in favor still of ICY.
Yeah, but Blade is in trouble. There's 2 players pushing that balcony section that if they win those one-on-ones, he will go down. He's finally got backup coming from Probo, but look at the attention they're having to split over to winning that catwalk section battle going through. Hexus has the attention of 3 players. It was 4 before Miziak went down. That has gifted B and A over towards that PyRoGEN side, who can now just push down the road and turn the tables. 57 to 51, this is still a very close game.
If there's one thing we learned from that first map is the fact that ICY can win these one-on-ones very damn easily. It's just they need to turn on their aim a little bit here. Maybe Probo and Blade need to really step it up, but do get a nice kill on the Mimi. Has opened up balcony, but honestly with the positioning of the rest of PyRoGEN, he's going to be able to stop them from pushing. And right now, ICY are just getting murdered across.
Yeah, but Seo has got a breaking point here. They almost over-invested too much for that middle exchange. Finally, Melisium and ICY will come fleeting back here to try and defend this. Seo will be taken down. Zordon was there as well, but there's an immediate split towards B. Exactly, we're not letting this slip, but C is being taken. They could be tri-capped here. They're not getting the breakthrough on A that they needed. B is not as easy as they thought either, as there's still players present and a trip cap to really add insult to injury. Exactly, and not getting the foot in the door that they needed at this point. B is now a singular mission from Blade. The two players still focusing on A will be Seo and Miziek. So hopefully they'll win this one out and they will get this 2-1 hold. And now we are seeing a couple of players a little bit out of position here. Melicium should be taken down anytime soon. And that was a big pickup from Monster, however, who should be able to keep that B site in the PyRoGEN's hands for now.
And you're seeing, I mean, it's just pretty much hell breaking loose between both these teams across the entire map. I mean, A is the only flag that's been capped, as B finally going over to PyRoGEN right there. But you're seeing both teams just try to throw everything they can at this, try to hold on as long as possible to try to get a lead coming into the second half. But with the tickets that are currently sitting on right now, honestly, it won't be that big of a lead into the second half no matter what. So, ICY, I mean, they could pretty much pull off Dawnbreaker like they did before. They didn't have the strongest of beginnings in this map, and they just have to be pulled out in the second half with a giant lead over ESC. And right now, Seo's a one-man squad. He's a one-man army right here pushing up to this balcony.
Yeah, and with only 20 tickets left, he's going to have to do something pretty damn magical here. Flash is standing in his way, however. So he's going to get those respawns in. They're going to start focusing out, but it's still a 2-1 hold against them. They've kept A. Hexus can easily push it if he wants to, but they want to make sure they keep this 2-1 safely in hand on B. And that was a good choice there. They picked up the kills on the catwalk. Now just Miziek stands. Any respawns now will be a big use up of tickets.
That's totally right, and that's what's the downside is to being this low on tickets. Is you can't really afford to spawn anymore, but you have to take as many possible away from PyRoGEN. And I think Ikaho, I want to say he's not spawning in right now because they realize they have the 2 cap, and he doesn't want to lose that extra 1 or 2 tickets. No, he does respawn in anyways. So he doesn't want to lose that extra 1 or 2 tickets that they could have for their lead. But 38-1 here. Last couple seconds remaining here. 37 tickets down on PyRoGEN. Actually, a 2 cap in favor of ICY, but now they can't spawn in anymore, and this should be it.
Yeah, and I think the big point to make there was you were questioning why that guy was respawning, because we saw B being capped over. And they may have been, okay, look, we'll give up 1 ticket to go into this with an advantage. So, you know,
well,
35.
if they kept that 1 ticket, they would have had the exact same score they had in the first half.
I was about to say.
Paracel Storm.
Yeah, indeed. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes through. I do want to see the scores at the end of that. Miziek, 16-11. Really good play coming out from him. 15-8 for Hexus, 14-7 for PyRoGEN, Flashor. So, you know, credit where it's due. PyRoGEN were just out-aiming them a little bit there, and I don't think Exacquio kind of got set up in the exact positions they wanted.
Yeah, I don't really know what went wrong for him in that one. It just seems like PyRoGEN were just reacting a little bit quicker, and then that little bit of a play at the end when they went for that cap on A in the backside, they pretty much left C open, and they didn't even bother attacking B. They got tri-capped there. They got shut down at the A push, and that gave a lot of tickets and a lot of momentum over to PyRoGEN from it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious to see how they do now. Obviously, they did go on to the other map and win it with a
82.
higher ticket to overcome. But I'm kind of curious here. And, you know, maybe they take the first map to kind of test the waters, or the first half of the map, should I say, to test the waters, and then try and work it out going into the second. But they're starting to have to turn something around here because they may have had the more ideal spawn, I think, you know, especially once they do that boost. And I'm kind of interested to see if they can work with the more northern harder spawn, you know, starting down by C this time to see if they can turn something through here. But it's just about who turns up on the day. You know, last time around on this map, we saw Blade going absolutely huge. Didn't have the opportunity to do it this time. But maybe they'll get the setup they want. They like that BC hold. We've seen it. You know, they can work on the catwalk from it and just lock down the opponents towards that southern side. And if they can do that again, maybe they've got a good shot here. It's just dependent on if they get set up where they like, as we saw in the second half of Storm, where they had Blade and Probo just literally creating that crossfire between them. If they can create that again, which they certainly could do, then maybe there could be a turnaround.
I think one thing that we're going to see differently out of Exacquio on this map, or on this half, sorry, is the fact that they finally saw PyRoGEN. They saw how they play on this map, and then to come into the second half, figuring out how to counter it, because that's exactly what happened on Paracel Storm. They knew, or they figured out what exactly they're going to do, and
I'm not sure if we're live. No,
we're missing a man now on Exacquio here. Blade. Actually, no, it's not Blade for once.
Blade's internet staying strong.
Yeah.
Probo?
Probo.
Yeah, Probo. You know, I was talking to I think it was one of the other streamers actually earlier on, and they were saying, you know, Exacquio could go really far as long as Probo's internet actually doesn't die constantly. So it's not the game crashing, which is probably what a lot of people will assume. It's actually his internet being a little bit awful. So hopefully he'll return to us nice and quickly, and there'll be no problems there. But you know, I think it'll give them time as well to talk over how to make things work here, because they'll be getting that CB hold straight up. We know that a lot of teams do go to, like, you know, go into the boost and then rushing through that mid connector. I'll be kind of interested to see if they go for that, because, you know, already Exacquio could kind of work that one out, put maybe Blade up further on the road, create that nice initial crossfire. and just really pin them in and see that 4-squad wipe that happened to them now happening to PyRoGEN. It's not hard to expect if you're in that kind of spawn section or in that kind of area. So it's all down to how these guys play this one. I am really interested to see how this goes down, though.
I want to see if PyRoGEN does do the boost. I think that's the biggest thing for me, because they obviously know how to counter it. So they know how to counter the counter of it, if that makes sense. A little bit of mind games in there. And I think exactly might try to go for that counter that they saw happen to them. But I think PyRoGEN might be able to outsmart them on this one if they do decide to not go for it. But still, you kind of have to show some presence at B. You can't really let that one just be given away.
No, indeed. But do you think 35 tickets is even a big enough number for them to worry about at this point?
No, I mean, I was talking to Dogbird on this map about it. He says it pretty much comes down to... every game comes down to pretty much just one team completely walking over the other team. Obviously not like a 100-ticket lead or a 90-ticket lead or 80-ticket lead, but it's usually very one-sided. And if it's ever close, it always comes down to like the last few tickets. And I think, honestly, if it's 36 on Paracel Storm and exactly we're able to overcome that, 35 isn't going to be any different. It's going to be even easier because it's one ticket less.
Yeah, most certainly. It is interesting to watch and seeing how these guys mentally come about it. I'd love to speak to some of the players and see, when does it become a really big factor that you've got this massive lead or you've got this big deficit against you guys, and kind of find the differences between different teams, because obviously a lot of the personality stuff comes into effect then. How they work as a complete team. Because obviously the biggest thing with Battlefield compared to a lot of other games is how much it depends on teamwork, and it's like, okay, I used to be fairly good at Call of Duty. Your strats would be an initial setup, and then you just see where the game goes, and then you do like a rush or a push, and it's all literally back to back. It was quite linear, whereas obviously with a game type like this, it's constantly flowing. So your teamwork gets applied throughout the game, and it's not a matter of, okay, we did a great start, the nades worked at the start, it held back the rush, therefore we can get into the site first, get that bomb down. Boom, you've pretty much got control there, and then you depend on players to actually watch angles. This is so fluid that you need constantly evolving strategies depending on the teams you're coming up against. And that's the one thing I really like about this. Obviously, it's Call of Duty, I could tell you pretty much most strats in most situations and which will work, but there's so many room for adaptation in this that you can't really call it either way. If the start of the game is completely one-sided, great, but then it's down to the other team to adapt and find the weak link within it, and it can go either way at any point in this. And that's the one beauty to Battlefield that I find, at least within domination in this sort of game type 5-on-5.
I think the greatest asset of a team is their strat caller. I think it definitely is. Being able to adapt quickly, being able to know exactly the right call in the right situation. And I think that's one thing that the EMS 1 series has helped develop, is helping people learn how to strat call, or at least a little bit better. Just from having a consecutive tournament area to play in, constant scrims and stuff like that. It helps you learn, it helps you adapt, and helps you learn tendencies of other teams and be able to adapt to that and change things around. And I think that's for me, it's always been something in any game that's been really valued, is being able to adapt to things quickly. And actually, I'm curious, do we have a result from the Against Authority ESC game? Because I want to know how that one
map.
Third map.
Just started up, so that's certainly going on at the same time. I'm not sure what the map is, so let me see if I can find out.
I think if you, I think it's up there a little bit higher.
Let's
Railway.
Okay, that's an interesting choice. Zavod Siege of Shanghai second. Interesting stuff. And then Railway being the decider. That's really tough to call, because I know PyRoGEN could do really well on that, but I don't know. This game is getting really close. I don't know. It's kind of hard to call on this one.
I think we're gonna have actually another restart after this, just to make sure the teams are on the right side. But
yeah, more than likely.
This could be the last map. I mean, if you think about this way, exactly, they need one good half right now to be qualified into the Alpha Finals, with Fnatic and Danny Toss coming up March 1st and 2nd. You guys can still buy your tickets, and actually, if you buy them now, you can get them 50% off. You get free drinks, get free food, get to hang out.
What else do you want in life? You know what I mean? Battlefield food and drinks. Cheeseburger specifically with no red sauce.
And there is ketchup on it. There's also alcohol too. So if you're old enough.
That's normally what I steal and just keep for myself. I'm waiting to see if we're going live here.
Nope, can't be. We gotta switch sides real quick.
Yeah.
Hold it.
I was just making sure. We like taking our time here, but 35 tickets is once again the, well, It was 36 before, it's 35 now. It's pretty much the same damn number. They do like to keep this close, and PyRoGEN did have the advantage on the half in the first map as well. And now in the second, they have pretty much the same thing, but we did see ESC coming out absolutely flying in the second half of Storm. So I'm kind of curious to see if they can do the same thing here again. We will be seeing... they go for the boost? Yes, there we go. So they will be going for the boost there off the start.
Aw, look at this pit of dead bodies.
Wow, Jason, way to be morbid. So it will be PyRoGEN starting on the Chinese side, and it will be ESC on the US team. Now, obviously, ESC get pretty much gifted that C site, but it's all about that battle for B at the start. We do see the boost, obviously, for the Chinese side, so they can get whoever is at the top. I think it's Melisium getting the respawns onto him, so they can get a quick push towards B. And it gives you that early advantage. So we are going to be getting underway in game in just a second. The boost has happened. The respawns will be coming in any second now. And
like,
there we have it. And initially, we saw a bit of a different start. Last time, we saw the immediate challenge down that road. But this time, we're seeing an all-in coming out. And actually, the first kill does go to PyRoGEN. So taking down ESC means that that B-side could swing over into the favor of PyRoGEN.
They do lock it down, but for how long? We see one man under the staircase right here. He's going to get shot at from balcony side. Hasn't been killed just yet. He's still surviving somehow. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to really do that. He keeps jumping back and forth. He eventually does go down. Flasher was the man to beat that. But he still actually goes down either way. And Sayo trying to go for the cap over onto B here. But he's not committing to it just yet. I think maybe he's waiting for backup. But we do see a very early 2-hold coming for PyRoGEN here. It does give him a little bit of a ticket lead. And we're seeing actually Blade. Check out where he is on the map. He's on the east side of it, kind of just sitting up towards that street. I don't know if he's going for a flank, but this isn't the normal position that he's really really likes to hold.
I don't think they have enough of a foothold or a kind of glimpse towards B just yet. He's now kind of edging forward. He's going to try and alleviate some of the pressure, but maybe just to push them back a touch. Sayo now pushing across the road. He's going to try and do the damage himself, and Zordon did get dropped, and we are seeing those back spawns coming in for ICY, so they need to make a move and make it fast. If this lineup of PyRoGEN can hold on to B, that would be a trip cap, but we are seeing immediately Zordon coming back to try and fend off that C side, taking down Hexus, looking for the follow-up on ICY, but this time ESC have claimed B with Blade there, now in close quarters combat with Flash, with one other as well, and that's going to go back in the hands of PyRoGEN, but straight away, ESC on a very long flank.
And this is going to be a lot of points actually going for them as well, because they get the tri-cap down for just a little bit here. We did have Zordon actually pick up 2 kills over towards C, locking that one down back for his team here. In the meantime, A is even being taken for ESC here, so right now they're going to get the 2-cap back for themselves, and that's why I've never really liked tri-caps, is the fact that you lose all control of where people are going to spawn in, and then from that you get 2-capped yourself, so it's really tough, and right now PyRoGEN are going to be working against that.
Yeah, but PyRoGEN are in a great spot in the middle here. They've got Flash and Melisian still up, and they can split their attention. If they want to go back towards A, they can. They did try and focus down towards C this time with ICY heading that way, but Probo was laying in wait. We are seeing the respawns coming in through that mid-connector onto Sayo, bringing Zordon back, and we are going to see a bit of a push now finally coming in towards the A side. Melisium does find Blade, as now ESC goes down as well, as now Zordon pushing in, trying to pick up the kills, gets one, but immediately avenged. But we will be seeing B for now, possibly going exactly as A, but for how long, really? That's the matter of the kind of the big picture here is that obviously PyRoGEN are in the better position to retake this one.
We did have a tri-cap for just a little bit for because they were able to manage the control onto A here, but they do actually lose control of that one. But like I said, the B, it seems like Zordon is like in prime position to really kind of, well, I say that he dies, but he was in a really good position to really hold down a B push. But because this balcony hold that PyRoGEN was able to pull off, they just lose control of B, and in the meantime, they're going for a straight push on A, so they're just immediately capping this, and C, it can be capped over if we see PyRoGEN finally move for it, and maybe he's already going for that to stop it. Yeah,
ESC probably expected to get the back C spawn, but he got spawned right down on that initial spawn road, so he had a long run back here, and we saw the spawns waiting to possibly come in. They've spawned back onto the likes of Blade to really support on that B side, but he's going to be going for the exchange. Does not win out. Melisium and Hexus will convert C, but we finally see the move towards that B side. Sayo, Probo, all present there. Blade as well, picking up the kills. They do not have the catwalk, though. ICY is up on there, so we do see the respawns coming in. Sayo trying to push across, gets picked up and dropped down. It's the AB hold, but with so much attention on the B side, they've allowed Melisium and one other to slip through towards A.
I do get some respawns back there too, so they're going to try to pinch them in a little bit here as A is going to be capped over. They've been losing B in the meantime, so just like that, we're going to see a nice 2-cap come in for, wow, sorry, I forgot teams for a second, for PyRoGEN.
words are hard.
No,
but look how
the
close
colors
this
are
is.
even worse. That's
Yeah,
what's hard.
I know, it's confusing. But, you know, let's take stock of what's happening. 97 tickets for Exacrio, 99 for PyRoGEN. Now, obviously, PyRoGEN do have the advantage, so it's still slightly lower for Exacrio, even at this sort of close range point. And they're not being able to really get a good advantage here. Melicium, Flashor, and Hexis doing damage. Sayo and Zordon looking for a way through, but they're splitting their attention again. Zordon maybe expecting that tri-cap push. This time, however, PyRoGEN happy just to sit back and claim what's theirs, which is the A site. 3 players trying to challenge down Misiak, who's just out staying alive. He's down solo, gonna go for the revive as well, so really trying to get hold of this one. It's a 2v2 at present. Hex is now going to be pressured by Zordon as well. This looks like it could be switching over Exacrio's way if they win these one-on-ones.
Well, they are winning most of the fights right now. It looks like they might be able to get control of A here from Mimi, doing a fantastic job getting those revives, staying alive, and he's going to get the kill out. Wanted to say, unfortunately, he's pretty much outnumbered right there, but in the meantime, it does give them control of B. And we do have C getting the back spawns for PyRoGEN here. This can be very dangerous, and we do have Sayo there to stop this. But it looks like he might be wanting to wait for some respawns to come in to really much lock this down. And remember, if they fall below 35 tickets, that will be PyRoGEN take it to a map 3.
Yeah, they most certainly will. Probo, though, is on that catwalk area. They're not rushing this. They're in a good spot for that B setup. So Blade and Misiak pushing through to try and get the challenges down. They need to win those one-on-ones against Ikaho and Flashor, who are not far away. They've got the first, but they need the second. They've done just that. But it's the exchange not clean, so PyRoGEN will be able to hold on to this one, and they should be able to get a 2-1 here. They could have gone for the tri-cap if they wanted C, but they are going to just stick that A-B hold, and, well, they could be getting the tri-cap unless that's turned over. B is being slipped away, and this is really troublesome side for Exacrio. They're down to 58 tickets. That is minuscule when 35 is the limit they can hit.
It's almost at that point where they're going to be too far behind to really pull this one back. I mean, they have to get a double cap back for themselves. They have to stop dying as well. They need to start picking up kills left and right. They need to win these 1v1s, these 1v2s, whatever you want to call it. They need to start killing people and not being the ones to get put in their graves. And right now, Blade, he's not in the spot that he's normally in either, and he's trying to hold on. He's trying to get these kills. They do have that 2-cap finally here, but they have 87 tickets to worry about before they can pretty much secure themselves a spot into these offline finals.
Yeah, that's all they're thinking about right now, and it's a big number to overcome. Blade has been found on that B site, as allowing the rest of PyRoGEN to push in, get that claim on, and Zordon pretty much trying to lay down fire from inside those buildings, dropping out the nades, trying to spam them away, but only one connecting, leaving Flash on there. Blade and Probo battling it out down on the catwalk. Ikaho not being the victor of that one, but those tickets are getting really low. 35 is the limit for the US team, and that is literally moments away. We're going to see a split coming out from Monster as well, going for the tri-cap. This is really going to start hurting the opponents of Exacrio, who are going to have to start looking towards that third map here, because this is not going their way.
Yeah, 40 tickets remaining here. The tickets are just pretty much bleeding off of them, and it's not a good sign if you're an Exacrio fan, but they still have that third map to really look forward to and maybe pull it back for themselves. And they were able to pick up the win on Land King Dam against ESC earlier on, and that's the map we'll be going to next. And there it is, dropped down to 34 tickets. They are going to actually lose out on this map, and we're going to see that map number 3 here between PyRoGEN and Exacrio.
Yeah, and, well, Dam, as you mentioned, being a very important factor in the last matchup, where we saw Exacrio really coming into their own.
Don't worry, he'll wake up eventually and realize that we're done with this and we can come back to us and maybe go to that quick
He
little
just
bit of
likes
a break.
watching Probo, just like doing work with the Scar H. That's his new thing. He's like, oh, damn.
That's my thing.
That's my thing
What
right
song
there.
is that?
Do you mean That's My Jam or something? No?
It's a song.
That's not your thing?
I can't remember. America.
America. Fair enough. But yeah, as we mentioned, Langham Dam, big map for Exacrio. We saw, I think it was Zordon, Probo, and Misiak, if I'm not mistaken, really locking down that central building, that B site, and turning it through. So looking forward to seeing what they can do on this one, if they can do it again, especially. PyRoGEN I haven't really seen on that map, so a little bit up in the air for me, but the way they played this game, a little bit, you know, down on individual skill, they're certainly in a good spot to do it, you know. Hex is 16-8, 12-7 for Flash, Ikaho 11-9, so they're certainly stepping up their game here.
And if I'm trying to remember correctly, on Land King Dam, Exacrio like to play on top of the buildings.
Yes.
A lot. Like that's where they
lived.
lived.
It was Blade
basically
up there, wasn't it? Just constantly up
Yeah,
the top.
he didn't have like the greatest score, but it was enough to apply a lot of pressure and force ESC to respond to him. And I wonder if PyRoGEN were watching that game because they were already done with their 2-0 sweep over against Authority. Are they going to know how to play against that? I mean, Exactly. They've already warmed up on this map before. I'm not sure what maps were played earlier on, obviously, between PyRoGEN against Authority. But it's going to be a good one here, and we're going to finally figure out who the third team is. It's going to be going into the offline finals.
Yeah, and it's certainly being fought for. We've had an upset in one of the games. We've had three maps in every other single one. So this is the closest group pretty much to this point, and I don't know what to expect from this, really. It's hard to kind of call either way. You know, on the first map, I was like, okay, the way Blade and Probo just worked, exactly how we're going to get this. If they can even find a 10% chance of that on Dawn, which they looked very dominant on before, that should have been easily their game. But they just never got comfortable. They never got set up. They're overrun every time. And now, you know, Dam, we had, Lank and Dam, we had a good sight of what they were like. But, you know, maybe that doesn't even matter now because PyRoGEN again warmed up. They know what, you know, they're coming up against here. That, you know, second half on Storm was really a rude awakening, going, okay, we cannot take these guys, you know, lightly. We need to really focus this one up. So I think we are just getting ourselves into the server so we can drop into that nice and quickly. Well, all right, in a second's time, you'll be in here as well, but we are in the server, so let's that one in. And we can check out what's going on there. So it shouldn't take too long at all to get this underway. I think the teams would probably just talk things through. As I say that, exactly, I only have 4.
We could karaoke.
Wow.
I mean, obviously, when we get into the offline finals on March 1st and 2nd, you guys can still buy your tickets, 50% off if you get them before this week's over. There won't be any of that because we will all be here in the same place with the same internet.
Well, maybe. Maybe.
Don't you dare throw it back to us. I was gonna say. I don't know what he's doing. Hand motions. No, he's doing charades. Go ahead. No, keep going. This is entertaining.
No, he doesn't like us anymore. He's had enough. He's had enough.
But he's charading.
Yeah. I thought he was on my screen. Come on. That's why he's pointing me. He's
well, it is on your screen.
It is on my screen?
I don't know. Let's test.
Nope.
Nope. It's not on your screen. It's on my screen. Okay. I was about to alt-tab out, but that was getting very dangerous. I had to test first.
Dude. You should just watch the same person and confuse Finn every now and then, our producer. Like,
I don't know who I'm watching.
What's going on? But yeah, obviously we are waiting on 2 members now of Exactly. So, whew, downtime.
Double the pleasure, double the fun, double the disconnects.
Ooh, such fun, so disconnect. See, the best thing is we can't even blame the game for these disconnects. Like before, it was like, oh, crash battlefield, what are you doing? Now it's like, oh, nice internet, guys. Good work. It's not cool.
I like what we're doing now.
What, the swinging in the chairs?
Spinning in our chairs, yeah.
Yeah, Benson told me how to do it. It was really good.
I'm glad the camera's not on us because we're literally just swaying in our chairs right now. It's quite nice. It's like someone's rocking you.
Yeah, indeed. It slowly puts me to sleep.
Oh, that's what happened. That's what he was trying to tell us. Did you see what he said?
The ESC win?
Oh, okay. I thought you didn't see it. You were just kind of going off my reaction as well. So ESC beat Against Authority. So Against Authority are now out.
That is unbelievable stuff. Wow. 2 to 1.
He wanted you to check your computer.
Yeah. Dear God. That is okay, so a top 4 team, you know, Against Authority finished 4th, you know, winning cup number 3, could not make it to the offline finals.
Monstro, can you please not do that, Monstro? You're hurting my head. He's climbing up the ladder, falling off of it, and then climbing it again.
Just being a scumbag.
Okay,
there you go. He's listening to you.
Oh. I hope not, because there's a minute delay on the stream.
He's a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. I like Harry Potter. What's wrong with that?
So apparently J.K. Rowling actually said that Hermione should have married Harry. Yeah.
What, rather than Ron?
Yeah.
I tend to agree. Like, Ron wasn't that cool. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I get he's, you know, the kind of nerdy guy there. I was like, oh, he's so cute though. He's so ginger. Oh, no.
What was that one dude that became really handsome throughout the movies?
Oh, Neville Longbottom.
Yeah. What about him? Where's his action?
To be fair, he was made to wear a fat suit and fake teeth, so he was never kind of like given the easiest start. You know what I mean? But he worked on it. I was a big fan of Draco Malfoy.
Really? Yeah. Bad boy.
Yeah.
I like the bad boys.
Oh yeah.
Except he was kind of a wuss.
I didn't know that at the time until like the later part of the films. I was like, damn, you were so cool at the start. Now, what have you done with your life? But no, yeah, good old Harry Potter.
Let's see. Still waiting on those 2 people.
So we can talk about Harry Potter. Have you watched all of the Harry Potters?
Yeah, I have.
Have you done like a marathon watch?
No, I will never do that. Only reason I watched... Okay, there's 2 reasons I actually watched the movies.
Hermione.
It was, one, just because they were hyped up and everyone was like, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah.
I never actually read past the 4th book. And also because my ex-girlfriend was a huge fan. So I was like forced to go.
Oh, there's no forcing. That
Good
is
guy,
absolute
Jason.
nonsense.
Good guy, Jason, being a good boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. I do remember this horror when I went out in London to Covent Garden. We were out in, I think it's like Chiquitos or something. They do really cool cocktails. Yeah, Chiquitos or something like that, right?
It's awesome. Mexican restaurant?
Yeah, yeah, it's
okay.
really good, right? They do like these really cool like chicken, and they do like these cool cocktails. We were there out drinking, and then
Wait, chicken cocktails?
yeah, chicken cocktails. That's right. They do good
You're
chicken.
talking about cocktails. They're
and
saying like
good
they do good
cocktails.
chicken.
Sorry, all right, they're
Okay.
separate things. Okay, they're not combined. And then I was there with one of my friends, and we were
Is
out
Monstro
drinking.
in a wall?
I think he was. He's
Okay.
just chilling.
Sorry.
Chilling like
So you
a
were there with
villain.
your friends?
Yeah, it was just one friend, a guy called Diablo, Tom Newman. If any of you COD 4 players know him, then you'll know who he is.
Why are you looking at the camera when you say that?
I don't know, habit. Like, talking to you guys. But if any of you remember Diablo, basically, right, we were out for drinks, and he kind of gave me this idea that we were going out to watch a film maybe later, and it was like,
So
there's
the
some
date.
cool films on. Kinda, not
it's a
really. And then we got to the cinema, it was like, oh, the film we wanted to watch is, no, what a shame, let's go see Twilight, because I know that's starting in 20 minutes.
Dude,
Boom.
what is wrong with Twilight?
I got roped into Twilight. Like, it wasn't even, like, if I knew.
What's wrong with Twilight?
There's nothing wrong with Twilight.
It wasn't a terrible
Well,
movie.
You're a Jacob fan, aren't you?
Dude, of course, Team Jacob.
You just can't
Look
try
at
to
his
get
abs,
ripped like
dude.
him.
Look at his abs. They're ridiculous.
Oh, but Edward. So mysterious,
he
so
hated
moody.
the movies.
And I wasn't exactly a big fan myself.
You're pretty much saying you don't like llamas.
He does look like a llama.
This guy's asleep right here. I actually want to shake his chair and freak him out.
Wow, way to be that guy.
Wait.
You know, the Battlefield action when there's only 4
Okay,
people
so what's
in
wrong
the
with
server.
Twilight, though? I mean, it's honestly not a terrible movie. Yeah, the love story within it was pretty stupid. It wasn't a bad movie. The ending was actually pretty cool, in my opinion.
Whew.
Minus the whole
What, the baby thing?
Jacob
Oh,
having the hots
Jesus
for a
Christ.
baby.
And then I imprinted on your child. Oh,
But
great. Thanks, buddy.
That sounds wrong.
Yeah,
sounds
exactly.
illegal in like 50 states in the U.S.
Most places.
Except like the South. There's one state in the South that's like, yep, that's cool, and that's where they filmed it.
Man. Wow, Jason, you're giving yourself a really good image. It's like
Yeah,
you
no.
don't eat Spag Bowl. You're so American it hurts, and you like Twilight. And you think
It
the
wasn't
storyline
bad.
was
It
solid.
wasn't bad. The storyline was pretty stupid, but it wasn't actually a bad movie.
You want to talk about Pokemon next? I don't know.
Okay,
man.
so I can talk about Pokemon. I just
Yeah.
picked up Pokemon X, bought a 3DS. I picked up X. I don't. People.
What is X?
People
I
actually,
don't get it. Like
I don't know.
did.
They're just
I
letters.
knew red, blue, gold.
There's
I
like
think
red,
yellow,
blue,
yellow. That was my.
There was like diamond and sapphire, and there was like silver and black, or white and black, and then there was I don't know. But anyway, so 2 people in the office have Y, and I actually got a tweet to me saying, "Why'd you get X?" And I was like, "Is there something wrong with X?" And he didn't really answer me. But so I got Pokemon X.
Okay.
Kind of looking forward to it. Kind of not. It's very grindy,
Ooh.
but it's also I'll have improvements on it. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna look at these Pokemon and like I don't even know who any of these are.
No.
I
No.
stopped at the 151.
Yeah,
at
I
Mew.
was comfortable with that. Like
Yeah.
Mew was like pretty exotic. You know what I mean?
I actually was proud of myself for knowing each of their names back in like elementary school. It's like
Yeah.
a big thing. Is if you could name all 151, you were like
To
the
be
cool
fair,
kid.
they banned Pokemon trading cards in my school because people were like getting in fights, people were stealing them. It was like
They
crack
got
for
banned from my
kids.
elementary school as well because they were getting stolen by other kids.
Amazing. It's like you give youth fun toys and they just go and mess it up. It's
But
brilliant.
and then in middle school, it's like all about Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
See, I was too. I was out of that.
Too
by then.
old.
It was
Wait.
not cool. It was
When you were
not
when you were
cool.
like in middle school or high school.
High school, we didn't do that.
Or you
stuff.
mean like at the-
like high
yeah.
school, we were not playing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I might have been playing with Yu-Gi-Oh
You were
cards.
that guy.
Also games on calculators. Get the graphing calculators.
I just remember seeing boobs a lot. That was it. Literally just boobs.
Oh, you mean? Oh, okay.
No, I mean I saw
I-
a lot of boobs in high school. That's exactly
I mean,
what
you're
I
a
meant.
woman. I mean, I would expect you to be able to, but
That's assuming we had boobs in high school. That's pushing it. All right, I barely have
this
them
conversation
now.
can get very weird very
Yeah,
soon,
all
so
right.
we should change
We're
it.
back on Pokemon.
So
we got to-
Animorphs.
What?
Ever read the books like Goosebumps?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Goosebumps
yeah.
are pretty sweet.
Goosebumps was amazing. I used to get pretty scared of them. I used to turn
Did-
over the covers so they couldn't get me.
Did you watch the Are You Afraid of the Dark show that they made after Goosebumps? Hell yeah.
It's awesome.
It was good stuff.
Yeah.
Animorphs was like my big childhood book. It was about like these like 4 or 5 kids. I think it's like 5 kids who like
Yeah.
find an alien crash landed who gives them these powers to morph into animals. But if you stay in that morph for more than 2 hours, you stuck
That
in that
does
animal.
ring a bell.
Yeah.
To be fair,
It was
like
actually
it's all
pretty
coming
cool.
back to me.
When you're a kid,
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Was it Bernard's Watch or something? Do you remember that Bernard's Watch? It might have been an
No.
English thing. and this guy could like freeze time, and then it's like
that sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then you're like, why didn't this carry on when he became a teenager? There's a very good reason it didn't carry on.
Because he would use it for
exactly.
bad purposes.
Like, at my mind when I was like, I really missed that show. And then suddenly when I'm on, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen. But we are getting ready to get underway in the third map. I do believe every single player is now with us.
Watch it not go live, and then we're going to be forced to go into this conversation even deeper.
Yeah, I did. I was like, oh,
Inception,
God.
that was a good movie.
Yeah, but everyone was like really upset when I was like, yeah, but you just look at the wedding ring thing, whereas the band he had was his like little thing that tied him down. Like, whatever, we are live in the game. PyRoGEN will be on the Russian side, and on the Chinese side, it will be ESC. So we'll be seeing who's going to walk away with this one.
That filler, I think that's like in a top 10 of filler that we've been able to pull off.
Certainly.
But yeah, so I mean, we do need to get in this game because there's a lot on the line here. One team, whichever one wins out this map, will be going to offline finals with Fnatic and Dignitas March 1st and 2nd. You guys can still buy your tickets at home. 50% off. You get free drinks. You get free food. You get to hang out with all the players and everyone else, and it's a good time. But right now, Zacchio only able to cap over to C, and we have a great A B cap coming in for PyRoGEN.
Yeah, and I've actually got an update. Apparently, Drunks is not very happy with Battlefield right now. Yeah, so interesting stuff already kind of bleeding through. I'd like to hear what the players are saying, but obviously the Russian side currently have that 2-1 lead, locking down A and B. That will be PyRoGEN there, and they're holding the Wolves at bay. They're not breaking through on B, but now we do have a sneaky little so-and-so of Seo still sticking around on top of that A roof there, dropping down those nades, really making trouble for the opposition. And respawns will be coming if they fancy it. Obviously not breaking through on B. It might be time to start eyeing up the A side to split the attention, but it's a 3-2 split coming out from PyRoGEN, so they're going to be hard to break down here.
See, this is one thing I did not like about Zacchio and when they played it earlier on against ESC, the play they did on the buildings. Because the thing is, they would sit on top of the buildings too long, and you obviously can't cap from on top of those. So it allowed the other team to get the cap on it. They get a lot of points built up before they even got the balls to drop down and actually fight them out. And right now, I wonder if that's going to hinder them again, because we saw Seo, he waited for such a long time on top of the building. They finally got some respawns, and it seems like they finally made the call. All right, let's go, and they're going to take A. They're going to get a 2-cap.
Yeah, and that's a big exchange going through here, and actually Hex is picking that up with the revive is massive. And Monster will now be able to cap that one back over, keep that safe. And we are seeing now C being the side over that's going to be contested more than anything. Blade and Zordon being challenged out by Flash and Melisium. Melisium's kind of just waiting around the back. They've got the tri-cap going right here, so they can be happy with this one. They don't have to worry too much, as long as they don't overly split their attention. But they are keeping a good number of players by the C side that has the most attention from ESC.
He didn't get to fall off the building before he got killed by Melisium right there. Fantastic shot out of him. And that does actually give them the control of C, B, and A again. They're going to be able to hold on to this. They're going to be able to maintain this tri-cap here. And this is one of the longest we've seen in the series between these two teams. And the points, they're starting to really snowball here. And this is a big... What?
I just want to say, the reason it's working, I feel, is the fact that they're focusing on C and A rather than leaving some in B. They've literally left B completely clear because they think the easy, the opponents will obviously think the easier side to go for will be one of the kind of outliers, but actually it's been the hardest. So beautiful play, really kind of making these guys question their choices, and it's still been a tri-cap for a very long time, and C is not completely won over just yet either.
Flasher thought he was Assault class. He tried to pick out his med kit. He actually took out his blowtorch. So I don't think you can heal yourself with that, but maybe he'll try a little bit later on. But right now he's in a good position. He's using that catwalk to his advantage, picking up nice 2 kills right there. And let's look at the kills as we have that tri-cap come back in. I mean, you have Melisium 5-2. You have 5-3 Hexes, 2-2 Monstro, 4-3 Flasher, Ikaho 1-3. Not really pulling his weight, but doesn't matter. The whole team in general is doing fantastic, and they have 138 to 77 ticket lead, and they're looking to take C back, looking to contest it, they're looking to hold on to it, and they're doing it. This is very one-sided. This is not what I expected, honestly.
No, this is an absolute stomp here. PyRoGEN clearly got the map they wanted as a final one, and Hexus is doing real damage. 7-3, being a key player on that C side that we've seen being the main one that ESC were trying to hit, ESC were trying to hit, and now they've finally gone, okay, maybe it's not working out on these CA sites. Let's head over towards B, where we know there's fewer players, and it's just about working through. But now Flash now breaking in, going to be challenged down Probo. This is not going well for ESC at all, and oh my god, they might have just held on to this tri-cap here. Flash should be able to convert that B side with little to no issue. It's all down to C now. Can they hold on to this? Hexus and Melisium could retain this tri-cap. They've got the exchange, not the one-way frag, so Zordon could change this unless Melisium can get up towards that side pretty damn soon.
And I think you asked me earlier on about what's the point where you're so far behind tickets that you kind of have to give up and you can't really come back from it? I think we might be approaching that point because it's 137 to 49 tickets right now. ESC hasn't had a flag I want to say the past 2-3 minutes. I mean, this is getting completely out of hand and ridiculous. I mean, you look at the kills, 30 to 15. They have double the kills. Exactly, you can't even get the respawns in that they need to group up to really push in. And you see no one at B yet again. They just don't really care about holding that one down. They're comfortable with the men that they have, you know, in the general areas and the vicinities as well. And you're seeing Flash get behind Mimi right there, gets the kill, and look at this lead, 135 to 30. It's getting out of hand here, and Exacquio, I want to say, if they don't do something right now, if they don't get the tri-cap themselves, like, it's pretty much over. Like, they have to make something happen or it's just not going to be possible.
I think they kind of know that as well, which is a terrifying factor. And the way PyRoGEN were playing it, you know, they were sitting on the A-B sites once they got that tri-cap down. They were just playing off the balconies in between the two. This time, you see exactly have kind of worked that out, but I feel it's too little too late. 16 tickets remaining in the final map here. Already mentally you are out of this game. As much as, you know, every big team, if they ever pull off a big comeback, we're like, well, you take it round by round, second by second, ticket by ticket, great. When you're down this many, it's a little bit more than just that, especially when you're losing out on the kills still.
I think Trunks is going to have a couple new people with them to help out his anger, because 132 to 6. There's really not much to say about that.
Nope.
I mean, this just kind of like a complete stomp in favor of PyRoGEN, and they're just not stopping. They're still picking up the kills. They're still holding on to the flags. And they are not giving up. 132 tickets going in the second half.
Wow.
I think this is the point where you could probably call it as going to be PyRoGEN advancing on.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Exacquio have gone in on every single half with a disadvantage. You know, 36, 35, 132.
Not quite the deficit that they had prior.
No.
I can say it is possible, but it's not likely that they will come back. But we can think about this. They'll be going up against ESC, who they played in the first game of the day.
This is insane stuff today. Today's groups have been just completely inside out. It's been not what you quite expect.
Mind-bottling.
Bottling?
Yeah, it's from Anchorman.
Oh,
it's like, you know, when your mind's in a bottle? No.
Nope.
Anchorman 2. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, but I worry that it's not going to be as good as the first.
Yeah,
you know
I know what you mean. Because you have, like, all these hopes built up, and
now you know what's happening. When it's like, I love Lamp, hilarious. Now it's like, I love Desk.
doesn't have the same funny factor.
Yeah, exactly. You already know it. It's just not.
Like, if he marries a lamp, then I will laugh. Yeah. I mean, you got to take it to the next level.
Yeah, exactly. You got to step up the game. But still, we are going to get ourselves ready into the second half here. And Exacquio, well, they've got 132 points to overcome here. They pretty much have to tri-cap the hell out of this.
You can barely say that with a straight face.
Yeah, it's not really working for me right now.
I mean, it's not to be disrespectful to them, but it's just the chance of coming back from this. I'm pretty sure they're all going to leave the game, the server, if they drop below 132, like immediately.
Yeah, they're not playing this one out.
Yeah, there's no way.
No. So we will be seeing the Russian side being Exacquio, Blade, Miziek, Probo, Seo, and Zordon. Obviously facing off against PyRoGEN with a slight lead of 132 tickets with Hexis, Monster, Melicium, Flash, and Ikaho. So game on time, really.
I mean, it's just, I don't even know what to say. I mean, have we cast a game that's been completely one-sided at this stakes before, with these stakes before? I don't think we have.
No, but what a way
I mean, I want to make it exciting. Like, I feel bad, but I mean, it's just 132, that's 28 tickets.
This is terrifying. So this is do or die now for Exacquio. They got taken to the limits, and PyRoGEN, they showed why they beat Against All Authority in their first game here, pretty much. And this time, coming out of the, you know, stops fighting. You know, Exacquio are not dead just yet, but any kills will weigh heavily on that scoreline right now. We're seeing Melicium going on a big flank with Hexis down that east side of the map, going all the way around on B. And we saw Exacquio doing really well with Zordon, Probo, and I believe it was Seo in that B site, if I'm not mistaken. But whether or not they can do it again is a very different ordeal. And already PyRoGEN breaking through. So if you see that Russian number, the next to the Russian team, dropping below 132, they are pretty much done and dusted. So PyRoGEN now moments away from securing themselves in the offline finals here, the first team in Group B to get through here. And they are doing the damage, they are working away at the tickets, and they are sending a good couple of members out on, you know, pretty much a limb split. You know, Ikaho going right round towards A. They're leaving B now, and they're going to try and do, you know, what they overly expected the opponents to take into account last time.
Well, hopefully they don't get too excited, though, because they still have to get those tickets in. Like, they can't just celebrate right now, or they could potentially lose, and Exactio could come back from this one, but they are going for hit on A. No one's be there to contest it. They're going to have the 2 flag cap advantage, and this is where it's dangerous, where we have to see response immediately out of Exactio, or this will be over because they will lose out on too many tickets.
Yeah, and they're not sure where they're going. They split 2 towards C, maybe sending 1 underneath to try and get a sneaky cap, but any sort of 2-to-1 hold is troublesome. We are seeing the 2-man team breaking towards A, being taken down. Good exchange, however. Sayo will stay alive and claim that one, but still 132 tickets is not far away. They're on 140 now, so merely moments they have to turn this one through. They should be able to get a tri-cap underway here, sending the opponents quite far back. Ideal stuff, but then again, any respawns now will cause trouble. You don't win back tickets for a tri-cap, you only work down the opponents.
Right now, they're picking up kills left and right. I mean, they have 18 to the 7 of the other team, but it doesn't matter. Every death they get is just weight on them heavier and heavier, and they only have 8 tickets to really work with here, but you're seeing them hold on to A quite well, and I think, I think PyRoGEN, they're not taking this as seriously, but what they're doing is they're kind of just like not worried about how many tickets they have left to work with. They're kind of just grouping up. They went for a push on A, they realized, yeah, that's not working out that well. Let's go for somewhere else, and let's make a different plan here, because right now they need to get in there. They need to capture some stuff back here, and they need to pick up kills.
Yeah, well, at the moment, Exactly, they've obviously got a lot to overcome, but they've only lost 10 tickets so far. And they're holding a tri-cap. Those tickets are working away from PyRoGEN. It's not over just yet. If Exactly can do this, I will eat, I don't know, a hat or something, because right now they are really up against it. B is swinging against them. That is not looking good because they've got the immediate split out towards A. Sayo now has to go so huge in this by holding onto the A side alone. He's taken down 1, but he's not going to get the second. B will be swinging over as well towards PyRoGEN. That could have been the final push that all they needed here. And if they hold on to this for a mere couple of seconds, you'll be seeing Exactly being absolutely decimated by tickets.
Yeah, there's the 2 cap coming, 138 remain. That's only 6 more to go before it is going to be over. Now 136. It's almost at that point or it's going to be over here. And I was going to say, if Exactio could do it, you would eat a hat, I would eat a tomato on stream, and you know how much I hate tomatoes. And luckily for me, I don't have to, but 135 tickets now, 3 more to go here. C is going to be capped over in favor of PyRoGEN, and that's going to be it. I mean, there's no way they can really stop this.
There is nothing they can do. They had 1 in hand, but it wasn't enough. 132 tickets has now been reached. The most they could expect for was a draw. Not going to happen. Congratulations, PyRoGEN. Not only did you take down Against All Authority, but you took down Exactro as well. These guys have truly beaten the odds, and they've done it in some real damn style there.
And remember what team they were coming into this. I think they were 16th.
Yeah, they were the final team to make it into the top 16. Yeah. Just about securing those points in the final cup, they struggled. They did not have an easy route there either, but they pulled it together, and my God, have they pulled it together again. What a phenomenal showing from those guys.
I feel like they might have been listening into our filler talk, and that really got them pumped about, Twilight and stuff. I mean, can't really take away from that. I mean, it was really kind of back and forth throughout the entire time. I mean, if we think about it on Paracel Storm, it was 36 points in the first half that they had the lead with. Then they lost to 82 on the other side. Then they came out with a victory on, obviously, on Dawnbreaker, taking 35 points. And then, obviously, on the last one, 132. I mean, it's kind of a good way to go out in style. But right now, I mean, if you think about it, we're Against Authority or exactly on the same level as Fnatic and Dignitas at the moment.
PyRoGEN took down Against Authority.
Yeah.
They had I don't think we can compare across maps.
I think right now they need to look towards the offline finals now. I mean, they need to start, if the practice they've been able to pull off in the past couple of weeks has worked out really well for them, but they've got a lot more practice ahead because beating Fnatic is not going to be easy. You have, UMAV and Epsilon from Group C and Group D to really worry about if they do qualify. I mean, there's a lot of good teams here, and PyRoGEN was a team we definitely didn't expect to get through. I don't think really many people expected to get through. But that might be one thing that's driving them to push harder and to be better.
And it keeps them being an unknown element as well. Obviously, Fnatic will think about UMAV strats, and they'll work them out. Fnatic will think about Team Dignitas, it's vice versa. All these top kind of teams within that top 5, top 6 even, will know each other's strats. But then you come to the 16th qualifier. Will you be taking the time to watch their demos back to this point? Probably not. But I can imagine Team PyRoGEN will know absolutely every single team above them's kind of play style. Because they'll be playing practices time and time out. They'll know, okay, Fnatic do this one really well. How can we kind of incorporate that? They had a very similar style to UMAV on occasion. I can imagine they take notice, whereas the other big teams may not notice them, and that has been their biggest proving point here. Their strategies caught so many of these people out. It was absolutely brilliant to watch for those guys. So hopefully, they can pull something out of the bag here going forward.
All right, we're going to find out very soon when we get to those off the finals March 1st and March 2nd. You guys can still buy your tickets. I think I said like 3 times now in the past 10 minutes.
Buy tickets.
Yeah, buy tickets. For 50% off right now. You can also come into the Clone Studios. You can actually get some free food, some free drinks, get to hang out there, everyone, get to have a really good time. It's actually really awesome. And we're going to find out in just a few moments who's going to be the last team in Group B. Is it going to be Exactio? Is it going to be ESC? I couldn't tell you.
None of us can, so do make sure you tune in after the break.